welcome to another episode of Functional Family Fridays. As you can see, this will be the last episode before Christmas, so I thought we'd get a little festive. Now, today's subject is going to be about COVID Christmas Part 1. And I'm going to start off by saying we're going to dig down deep into some hard subjects, things that may make you feel emotional or even angry. If that's the case and you're not ready for that, then tune out right now and see you next time. However, I can't avoid speaking about COVID Christmas when this is a real hard subject for many of us going through Christmas with all the restrictions, challenges, and the absence of family. So it's very emotional for me as well. So this is why I feel we need to talk about it. We need to have some ways of coping with it. So I'm calling part 1, the good, the bad, and the ugly truth about COVID Christmas. Okay? So today we're going to talk about all that. All right. So like everything we have to deal with in life, change always offers both good and bad opportunities and positive and negative experiences. All right. So COVID is no different, right? So let's talk about COVID Christmas versus our other typical Christmas, right? With COVID, we're being forced to change what we traditionally do to celebrate Christmas with our families. We're having a lot of rules, regulations, and stipulations that we must adhere to. So it's very difficult for some more than others to follow through, me included. And a lot of this change is based on fear, not love. All right? Now it's founded, so it's creating a lot of fear within families, okay, versus love. Now I know the intention might be because we love families and we want to keep them safe, but we're focusing more on fear than love and faith. Hence my t-shirt, Faith Over Fear, okay? So Christmas, and why we're finding it so challenging, is all about love. It's about giving and receiving love. So this is why this particular holiday is a real struggle for most of us to adhere to these rigid rules and family restrictions, okay? So before we go into the bad about Christmas COVID, let's talk about what good it's bringing, okay? There is some good, okay? So like I always say, not all families are cut from the same cloth and are divided equally. There are some very difficult, toxic, dysfunctional families. And when we're told to lock down and only be with those people, this could prove to be very detrimental, even scary for some people. And a lot of us aren't thinking about that because we just naturally gravitate to Christmas, love, loving family relationships. But that's not the truth for all. In fact, that's not the truth for 95% of all our families have some form of dysfunction. So here's the good thing about Christmas COVID. Number 1, we get to create healthy boundaries, right? Now you have a valid reason why you don't have to be around toxic, hurtful family members. You have the reason because the government's stipulating this, right? Excuse me. Number 2, you get to step out of denial. You have the opportunity to see very, very clearly people's true colors. That includes family, friends, stressful experience expose people's true nature, right? Usually good people will step up, take a leadership role, and try to help other people. Often fear-based people, I don't want to say good, bad, I want to say love-focused, fear-focused. Fear-focused people tend to get even more fearful when there's this level of fear going on. So you're going to tend to see a lot more negativity. You're going to be surprised by some people that you thought were nice, caring people, the reactions that they're doing. Because people, when they're triggered and still have suppressed negative emotions, all that negativity is triggering them to be reactive. So they might seem different than they normally seem, and that's why. Because there's a whole new level of anger and fear going on right now. So a lot of those triggers are coming out for people. So we're starting to see people's true colors, okay? The other good thing about Christmas COVID is you get to be honest with yourself, right? Like sit down and really analyze your relationships. Do you miss that person in your life, right? Do you having the time and the distance from this person because of the lockdown is going to help you get very clear about the way you feel about that person. And that's why with COVID we're experiencing a lot of divorces, breakups, whether breakup in, doesn't have to be a love relationship, breakup in friendships, because people are starting to realize, do I really miss that person? Are they good for me? You know, that's so. So we get to be honest with ourselves. Number 4, this is a chance to create new beginnings, new traditions, new habits. We get to a clean slate. We could start over. So that's the positive about all this, right? So let's talk a little bit about the bad or the negative about Christmas COVID. As I said, it's instilled a lot of fear. Coping with the restrictions, the frequent changes. Every Friday, you know, Doug Ford seems to get on the news and download what we can do, what we can't do. And this is extremely frustrating. I know it was for my family. Trying to navigate a wedding through this was a complete shit show. But through faith, we got through it, and we got very clear about who's there and who isn't there. So that was a good thing. The other thing that fear brings is financial survival. A lot of people are losing their jobs and they have less finances and dipping into their savings. A lot of people are being asked to return, you know, government money too that they were counting on. So that's a lot of fear about how do I take care of myself and my family, and rightly so. Also, fear about death. It's having us look at our mortality. We're afraid of our own catching the disease, and also our children, and of course our elders, okay? And the other thing about the bad about this Christmas COVID is it's hard to be apart. This is my hardest thing, from the people you love and who love you. That's so hard because, again, Christmas is about love, and we're being told to navigate away from love, you know, and we're meant to, although we can see virtually, we're meant to hug, touch, kiss, and spend time in close proximity in that area of vibration. Our energy field needs to mingle with those that we love, okay? That's why God created intimacy, because it's a natural process for us to want to be in that space with people we love and that love us. So it's it's unnatural for us to, you know, be away from them. Love is more natural than fear for us, right? So what's happening is a lot of people are experiencing negative emotions because of it. Doubt, uncertainty, fear of the unknown, what's going to happen next year and the year after, and what's going to happen with my job and my business. You know, there's a lot more stress going on, frustration. And this, again, fear of the unknown creates anxiety for a lot of people. There's loneliness, a lot of heartbreak, okay, unhappiness, and depression. These are all really heavy negative emotions. You know, if you were experiencing a lot of this before COVID, it's probably even more heightened now, and you don't know what to do with yourself. So I'm going to help you a little bit with that, okay? So physical separation, again, from our loved ones is not normal for human beings. It's not even normal for animals, because even animals gravitate together. So when we experience loss of a higher vibration, which is love, joy, laughter, fun, sharing, caring, it lowers our energy. And when our energy is lower, guess what? It opens up the door to negative emotions and triggers that we haven't healed yet. A lot of us push down a lot of our issues from the past, from our childhood, and guess what? Fear is just bringing it all back up. So that's where it's coming from, okay? So don't be surprised if you yourself or people you know are experiencing anger, rage issues, sadness, loneliness. People are getting offended so quickly now. There's more offense now, you're tiptoeing around what to say and who to say it to, because we don't want to offend people. You know, we used to laugh and shake it off and laugh at each other. Now we're all offended, all right? People are getting annoyed, getting disappointed, right? They're feeling desperate, and they're feeling fear, okay? This is all fear. Now, I don't want to, break down fear completely, because again, life is about balance. It's a balance of love and faith, and it's a balance of fear and survival. So fear is not all bad. It does keep us safe when a saber-toothed tiger is chasing us, or when we have to deal with stress, okay? Or, it tells us not to jump off a cliff or harm ourselves. And it also stretches us so that we could build our self-confidence, okay? Excuse me, grab some water. If we never had some level of fear, which would create stress, we would be bored to tears, because we're meant to evolve and to grow and to learn and to experience. We're meant to do that. We're not, just zombies sitting and doing the same thing day in, day out. Like, we're meant to evolve and grow from both negative and positive experiences. So fear's not all bad. What's happening is it's consuming us. It's becoming our way of life. Every day we're inundated with the news and look out and fear here and fear there, and you should be doing this and that and not doing this and that. So there's a lot of fear and confusion that's going on, okay? But we are meant, so again, we're not meant to stay in fear. You could feel fear, do the wise thing for your family and for yourself, but please don't stay in fear for a long period of time, okay? Otherwise, it starts to work in reverse for us. It releases stress hormones throughout our body, cortisol, and that, of course, does a lot of physical damage to our bodies, okay? It creates doubt in ourselves. We start to second guess ourselves because we don't know which way to turn. Instead of using our gut feelings and inner guidance, we're just following fear. If everybody else is doing it, must be right. Not necessarily. We remember God gave us a brain to think for ourselves, okay? Assess what's going on, meditate on it, and do what's right for you, following your inner guidance, okay? That's what I mean about faith over fear, right? And fear, when it overwhelms us, it also keeps us stuck, right? We're not moving forward, we're not growing, we're not evolving as a person, as a parent, we're not changing. And remember, if you're a parent, your children are watching you. They're watching the way that you're behaving and how you're handling this. And guess what? You're their teacher. You become their teacher in so many ways with COVID, but they're still watching and learning from you, okay? So you need to pull it together and get grounded through this holiday, okay? Get creative on how to celebrate love. So emotional survival, I'm gonna give you now, before we leave, an emotional survival plan. Because again, not all families are treated the same, and not all are great and loving families, all right? Some have very negative, dysfunctional, dramatic, hurtful, toxic, addictive people in their families, all right? And in that case, if that's your family, you need an emotional survival plan to get through this next hump or this lockdown. So I've come up with a few. Number one, in a way, it's the way that you can combat sadness, loneliness, heartbreak, or feeling disconnected from your family and the ones that love you is, again, do a virtual visit. It's better than nothing. You still get to see each other if you can, and expressions, and do the best you can. I was having a virtual visit with my little soon-to-be 2-year-old grandson yesterday, and the poor child was climbing the table almost as if he wanted to go in to the video and, be with us. It's hard for children to understand this whole madness. It's hard for all of us to understand this. So virtual visits. Sit down maybe with some pictures and some videos. When I miss my family, my children, my grandson, I watch videos over and over of happy times, right? And that fills me up. The other thing you can do is journal your sadness on a piece of paper. This is going to release a lot of the sadness that you're feeling, but it's also going to help you remember some of the loving memories you've got. And with love, that's going to shift into gratitude. Soon you'll find yourself being more grateful than unhappy. Like I know I just got a text from my son who's feeling a little, pressured with the fear, and he won't be joining us for traditional Christmas Eve. And I got a little choked up at first, but I also realized that, this too will pass, and he's still in my life, and I'm still grateful that I get to see him virtually. So focus on the gratitude, not what we're missing. Just focus on what you have, okay? Also, now, part of the survival plan, this is a little bit more strategic if you're actually locked down or living with a toxic or hurtful family members. Number one, try to limit the amount of physical and mental exposure to that person. If you have to lock yourself in the room or put some earphones on or something to sort of limit how much exposure that you're hearing or seeing from this person, okay? So set healthy boundaries, right? So be mindful of the space around you, how much you're taking in, what you're doing, what you're saying, and what they're doing and saying. Also reach out spiritually, okay? Pray for peace. Pray for protection around yourself, your children, whoever it is that you need protection from, okay? To protect you from drama, negativity, and or, God forbid, abuse, okay? And finally, if you find yourself in a dangerous space, for God's sake, please get out somehow, okay? This is for extreme cases. COVID or no COVID, there are, things that you can do to ensure your safety, okay? Plan an escape plan. Go to a friend, okay? A family member you could trust, or a neighbor, right? Or a local support group, or call 911 if you have to. But please be safe, okay? And finally, the best survival plan for me that's worked, and that I'm not pushing anything on you, other than your belief system, but please, whatever your belief system is, have more faith and less fear, okay? when we're, you know, when we're focusing just on fear, what ends up happening is we step into ego. And ego activates our need to control things, and we actually cause situations to be worse, not better. Okay? So please focus on fear, right? And the outcome will be a lot better, a lot more peaceful. You'd be amazed how the universe steps in and takes care of things for you. You have to trust, have hope, okay, and hold on to your faith. Put it out there. Put white energy and vision, white energy around you that's protective and safe, and you can't go wrong. And also, with the decisions to visit or not visit, or whatever you have to go through, follow your intuition and your inner guidance, okay? So again, we tend to have herd mentality. Whatever the majority of people are doing, we just do. And then sometimes it doesn't sit well with us because we were all individual. We're all different. Our families are different. We're different. So yes, we're being told what to do, but you also need to follow your inner guidance. Okay? So finally, I want to leave you with one final thought to meditate on. Try to shift your focus from fear of getting sick and or focusing on death to being healthy and actually living and enjoying life, okay? Yes, it's true that some people will pass and die, right? And we can't get that time back with them. But it's also true that if we don't enjoy the time we have now, we're also missing out on life and living with those people that we love so dearly. That we're so focused on fear that we're not actually living and enjoying our life. Because you got to remember, time is precious, right? We never get this time back. Because we're going to look back in 9 months, a year from now, and think how much time we spent worrying, right? When in the end, things usually end up working out if we keep our faith, okay? So stay hopeful, please. And so just a quick touch on this concludes today's video. So next video will be after Christmas, and it'll be about the truth about what we can expect to be faced with in 2021, the choices we have to make and the new changes. But don't get overwhelmed, because I'm going to be with you and offer an amazing solution, okay, for you. And on how to improve the quality of your family relationships and how to actually create a healthy, peaceful family life. Okay? So that's something to be excited about. So what I want to do for tuning in today, and it's my Merry Christmas to you, I want you to feel free to download the free emotional checklist that's attached to this video, just to see where your emotional health is now, so you can prepare for the festivities and the changes that might be coming up very soon with respect to COVID Christmas. So we need to get your emotions in check, become aware where you are, okay, so that coming the new year, I'm so excited what's coming forward and to share it with you. So stay hopeful, love. Know that this too will pass. Keep your faith. All right, follow your intuition. Be safe, be happy, and most of all, live your life, okay? Because this too will pass. So from my heart to yours, a very Merry Christmas. God bless you, your family, your loved ones, your children, and start making some goals for 2021, because it's going to be a powerful year. I'll see you after Christmas. Be well.